But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 135 of the Planet Destiny podcast. The one where TBL's here, but Fallout isn't. So.
I see we have no audio according to the chat. I just want to
I fixed that. I fixed that.
All right, good. Cool.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
All right.
It never happened. There was no audio issue at all for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But welcome. We are a big source for everything in the world of Destiny, and what a week in Destiny it has been. We've had some raid action, we've had some Trials of the Nine, and we are going to have ourselves an action-packed show. We've got our usual roundtable of hosts, minus 2 people. We've got Story Machine. We've got Mr. Mega Magwitch.
That's me.
That's him. And we've got a very, very special guest, Miss Moonvault herself. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're sorry you had to go through all the background
Oh, no,
stuff
that's okay.
and
I
deal
was just
with
kind of
us.
like, what is happening? But,
We're
Welcome
mostly
to
sorry
my
that
world.
we're mostly sorry that you don't get to look at bones. It's
Yeah.
a real
Oh, no.
We
letdown.
apologize for that.
Yeah, you're on this podcast and you have to look at these ugly mugs.
Of all the hosts,
Oh,
we're the
no.
ugly ones, and
Yeah.
we're sorry about
No, you
that.
guys are great.
But welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. We like to, when we have guests on the show, we like to give them a second to talk about what they do, where they can be found, and what exactly you got coming up. So what is it, Miss Moon? What is it that you do? Are you a streamer, perhaps?
Yes, I am. I haven't had the chance to stream lately, but I'm getting back into it.
Right on.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Moonvald, and you can also find me at Twitter, twitter.com/Moonvald. Like, I'm just Moonvald pretty much everywhere. So if you look for me, you can probably find me.
Beautiful.
Right on. We should have some links going out to some of those channels in the chat for the live audience in just a second. But right on. Well, welcome to the Planet Destiny podcast. We like to start things off by talking a bit about what we've been doing in the world of Destiny over the course of the week. And like I said at the start of the show, what a week it's been. We've had some raid action, some trials action. You get in on any of that, Moon?
I did. I actually, I didn't complete the raid yesterday, but I got a chance to participate in it, and it is a trip. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
I love my clan so much. It's amazing. I love that raid. It's so great.
Now, this is going to be fun for me because I actually haven't run the raid yet. For those who are
I'm better
tuning
than
in.
TBL. I'm better than TBL.
You bet. All y'all are better than me.
TBL,
You're
the raid-
all better
TBL,
than me this week.
TBL, look, if you need somebody to help you through the raid, I get it. You know, you're new to it. You're not familiar with raids probably in Destiny, you know. Just
you're
come
right.
to me one of these afternoons. I'll carry you through. I'll be happy to, buddy. Just
got a
anytime
backpack
you need
big
it.
enough?
Yeah, I'll fit you in there. I'll squeeze you in.
Nice and snug.
Yes.
Yeah, as people who are fans of the show know, I wasn't here last week. I was dealing with Hurricane Irma, and that kind of took me out of the game for a while, and I wasn't able to get things back up and running in time for the raid. I was able to watch some of it. I got to watch Story go through his first experience in there, and quite a few other people. First off, big shout out to the Legend himself clan with Slayer Ridge taking that world's first. I got to see them do that live, and what a crazy moment that was. So since I didn't get a chance to play the raid, I'm going to let you guys talk about it because all I got to see was pretty pictures. I got to see this big, pretty golden city on a giant world-eating ship, and I'm like, what do you mean? What is this? What's going on in the Leviathan? Tell me.
I had to wait like 7 hours before I got to play after it dropped, and I wouldn't watch anybody because we at Husky Raid, we always go in blind. Raid day, we go in blind. We try to beat it on our own. We never succeed, but we try. And it was driving me crazy because I had someone in my party who was watching somebody play it, and they just kept going like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And I'm just sitting like, just trying to like not go insane going to it. But yes, finally got to launch in. Probably, I would say my favorite raid aesthetically because it's so bright. It's such a bright, like, gorgeous, glowing golden palace of deliciousness, and I was so worried it was going to be terrible, awful, bleak, industrial Cabal. Like, just like I was on a normal Cabal strike, and they went the exact opposite way with it. They were like, let's make this shit decadent. And it is fabulous. I love every second of it. And I did, for the first time ever, manage to beat the raid completely blind, look up nothing, all on our own. So
right on, man.
Accomplished. Yeah. I'm digging it. And I don't even hate the dog part that everybody hates. So I got that going for me. But I know Story had pretty much as long and awful of a trip beating it as me. It was a long journey to beat the raid blind.
I mean, that's the thing, like working it out. That's what takes the time, doesn't it? Like, you know, like you're actually sitting there figuring out all the bits and pieces and mechanics and trying different things and looking around and soaking things up. And who would have known the Cabal are actually quite pretty people, you know, really, when you look at them, they're quite fancy. They have a fancy side.
I have to say I agree completely with you, Mega. When we were all imagining a year or so ago what a Cabal raid would look like, I don't think anybody thought the Leviathan, this big decadent golden city where you invade a bathhouse with a giant naked Cabal rushing you. When I tuned into that, I was like, what?
Like, even when you saw the Leviathan concept art, like, it looked like it was gonna be like a big Bleak Dreadnought type adventure. And then instead it was like, no, you know that giant palace from Link to the Past? It's that. That's what you spawn in on. Is Ganon's palace in Link to the Past. Just a big golden beautiful thing. It's
so just when it's just right.
Oh yeah. But it's a lot. I think a lot of the encounters are really fun, and what I really like about the raid, I would say, is that it does not punish you a lot if you have underleveled people. It's like more mechanics and puzzles, but not to the extent that Kingsfall is like all mechanics and also a ton of DPS. So you lose automatically like all the time. I don't know. Like, it's not obnoxiously difficult to get through with people like Kingsfall is. I don't know. Other people's thoughts, opinions?
Yeah, like the length. Like, I haven't run through it a second time, but I know that it's going to be much faster this second time round. And I think the only kind of gripe that I had with it was the RNG mechanics at the end with when you go into the Mind's Eye. You've got these 3 regular scions that spawn. And of course, this is early days yet, and I'm not convinced there isn't a mechanic that makes them, when they spawn, they insta void wall, and that's the thing that boops you up into the air. And this was happening like really irregularly. Like, we were being really careful with trying to see what would trigger them to do this insta void wall thing. Because, like, even if your aim is great, and we had this technique where we had 2 guys on the outer left and right cross-firing. So the guy on the left would shoot the scion that spawns on the right. The guy on the right would shoot the scion that spawns, and, you know, like, crossfire it and then go in the middle. And that was the easily the best kind of technique that we had for it. However, it's still on the right-hand side. Spawn, insta-void wall, boop, you know, and be like, oh, and he's always behind a ramp as well. Yep. So, like, that was the tricky part, and, like, dealing with ads. But we did find out, though, that in the throne room, the 4 councillor scions that spawn with the symbols over their heads, if you melee them and get your power ammo, that will spawn more ads in that encounter. So if you leave those 4 alone, you'll get a much more relaxed experience in the throne room. So we were kind of playing it on a version of a hard mode, so that didn't make things easy. You know?
I just learned that too very recently, and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known that when I was playing through it and struggling. I was like, you got to kill those guys, obviously, because every other time there's counselors, it's like, kill them or you're gonna die. Like, I didn't even risk letting them go.
But here's the crux of the thing, like everyone was worried that the raid was going to be super easy because, let's face it, the progression up the power levels is fairly straight cut, and you can do the majority of that by doing public events, which is great for solo players. You don't have to play the Nightfall, even though if you're on the mission to the grind at the beginning, doing every activity that you possibly can to boost up your power level is of quite a lot of importance. But if you don't care about how long it's taking you, then you can sit back and just, you know, like, do things at your own pace without any problem. And some people took issue with that. Oh, it's too easy. You know, it's too simple to do that. And they were hoping that the raid was going to be super hard. Well, you got it. You got the raid being fairly difficult for the first time, you know. Like, I think that was the longest period of a raid being completed, you know, like, that we had. Like, I think was it Wrath of the Machine? It was 4 hours?
Like 4 hours, somewhere around
something
there.
Something like that, 4 or 5 hours, you know, so, yeah. What did you reckon, Moon? I want to hear all about your raid experiences front to back.
Okay, so I only got to the dogs, and then I had to leave, unfortunately. But I did get to watch my clan mates complete that part, and it was hilarious because nobody knew what they were doing, nobody knew where they were going, and it was just really entertaining to watch them learn. But I really like that this raid seems more mechanic focused than just like power level focused. It makes it more fun. So I'm really excited to get the chance to complete it for sure.
Yeah.
I knew it was. We're very fortunate that it isn't power level focused, because we have one member of Husky Raid who always, every time a new raid comes out, he's at least 15 light underneath, like recommended, like every
I'm
single
that
time.
person.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So we were like, well, we'll see what happens, and then bless Bungie for making it so he didn't have to do massive damage at like any point, other than like the dogs were we were a little bit worried about that, but as long as you get a good buff on them. And the dogs were definitely the hardest part to figure out, but I think they're going to be like, now that you know how to do it, I think they'll be fairly simple when you're playing with people who all know it, you know, because it's a very predictable pattern. Like by the end, we knew the pattern so well, we were literally just like, we saw where the first one spawned and all the people down below were just running to like the pods because we knew where they were at without any call outs or anything.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
It's gonna be nice and crispy.
What do you think about the raid being more weighted towards puzzle solving than actually fighting, you know, ads and dealing with waves of enemies? Do you think this is like a really good direction? Or
I like it. I enjoyed it a lot. Again, I like the aspect of teamwork. So yeah.
I think it makes it the most fun to run. Like the most fun aspect of raids, no matter what, is like running them blind for me and trying to figure everything out. Like going into the bather's room and you look around and you run it once, you step on the plates, you activate it. What we do is we let the time completely run out to see how much time we have, what happens, like what we need to do if we don't do anything. Look at the end screen. Look at what the things say at the top. What is a sensor that we have to destroy? What's a projection? Shoot things in the room, looking for immunity, like things for like that. Solving all the puzzle aspects is like the most fun part of the raid. It might make it like less fun on replays because you know exactly what to do, maybe. But I think that it enhances the overall like first time experience so much to have that it be more puzzle focused that I don't even care. I'm not someone who plays raids like 500 times though. I don't play them every week like some people in here, you know. I'm not just like, let's do Vault of Glass, guys, again.
For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason anymore. So I don't know. I'm more concerned with replayability, I guess, than anything with the drops. What do you guys think about the drops? Because that's what I've been hearing the most complaining about. Yeah.
Now, so explain to me how the drops work, because as I understand it, there's really only one boss in this entire raid, right?
That's right. And
so how do drops work?
You don't get drops from these encounters as such. I think maybe one of our team got a drop.
It's very. It was like every encounter you could get one, I think, but it was very rare on our team.
Yeah, like a really rare opportunity that after you pass one of these encounters, you get a drop. Because all I had throughout the whole raid was glimmer and tokens. And when we went to the end boss, we got the end boss, and we went to a chest. I got a helmet, and I was like, okay, wow, that's interesting.
That's what I get.
Nice. Yeah, I got a helmet. Okay, so there's something at least, but it's all based on running through the mazes and the pipes and the conduits and the irrigations and picking up these keys, clearing out these. They're like these beta watchers. You have to like destroy all of those within a time frame, and you get more keys to get more chests. We're gonna have a good explore of it later on. Tomorrow, that's for you, today for me. However, there's planned maintenance, so I'm not sure how much we'll get done. But yeah, it's all based on tokens, and then you take them to the NPC and you switch them in and you get stuff. But I ended up switching them in and getting another helmet. So it's like, I
had pretty bad drops myself. I got arms on one encounter. I was fortunate enough to actually get a drop on one. Then I got the cloak at the end. Then I turned in like tokens and I got the cloak and the arms again. I was like, all right. But I got the SMG from a clan engram. So I got that going for me. But I guess the issue is that the token drops and your clan engram don't help you increase your light level like at all. They're like normal drops. The token drops are just like any other package drop. They do like 5 light below your current light. So
And there's a bug on them at the moment. Some of them are dropping at 10 power. So I think this is why there's a hot fix.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I knew the clan ones are the Union ones.
clan ones.
I heard that about
I think
being
the
a
clan
clan
ones are
one.
supposed to be 10, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're supposed to drop at 10 power because it drops for that for people who haven't run the raid. If you're in a clan and a member of your clan has run the raid and completed it, you get rewards. You'll get raid
Okay, that
items
makes
in an
sense
engram,
then.
but it'll
Yeah,
drop
I
at 10
thought
light.
I thought that
So
was
you're not
with-
getting free like
same with
300
trials
stuff.
engrams too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
same
I
with
got a
trials
Charles
engrams.
weapon at 10 power. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Where'd this come from?
Whoa.
Which,
Yeah, it
that's
just
a
means
whole
somebody in
other
your clan
can of
completed
worms.
that activity.
A whole
Yeah.
other can of worms we have is some people are not fans of the idea of your clan getting a drop from the raid without actually completing the raid.
That my dad is going to
Doesn't
be
bother
very
me.
happy about stuff like that, being like nearly 70 years of age, and that raid is pretty heavy duty for a guardian of his stature. I don't think he'll be that interested in doing something like that. So the fact that he can still get raid rewards, I'm pretty happy about that as well. Because hey, the game's for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
And that's part of the benefit of joining a clan, of course. That was something Bungie was really pushing for with the revamping of the clan system. They want you to have people in your clan. They want you to be able to get rewards and share rewards with members of your clan. And I think getting a single engram a week that can contain trials or raid weapons at 10 light, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that at all.
I'll play. I a little bit don't like it, but I'd be fine. I only want a little bit of
Little
an
bit don't
adjustment.
like it.
I just want you have to do your personal weekly contribution to claim all 4 of those
Okay, I can
clan
agree with
reward
that.
things. Is all I really
Your
want. You
5K?
have to do your 5,000 experience, which is not hard. That's playing for like a couple hours throughout the whole week. I just want that. Like you have to put a little bit into the pot to take it out. Is all I personally want. But
That makes sense.
I'm not
Yeah.
up in
Yeah, that sounds
arms.
fair.
I'm not up in arms about it either way. Like
You
it's
didn't
fine.
earn that,
It works. It actually works
prosecutor.
out for me because if I beat an thing, because the clans are cross-platform, so I have a
Yeah.
PlayStation and Xbox account. So when I beat the raid on Xbox, I got a raid gun on PlayStation.
go.
I was like, good for me. I guess I'm helping myself
go.
out both ways. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's been some people who aren't very happy with the drops overall though, and
Notice that.
I can see that.
There was people unhappy about Zer being a salesman of exotics and things like that, because there are folks out there that believe that you need some kind of license to have an exotic weapon that's only available by spending, 10 days playing without sleep, no food, and being punished and whipped while you're playing, and all this kind of sadistic stuff. So
That was year 1 of Destiny
but-
1.
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, but yeah, like I think it's a great idea, and I think the fact that Bungie are really pushing this social looter shooter that is a lot more team oriented, group oriented, friend based, social element to it. I think that there's nothing wrong with that kind of thing at all. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Just fine. I'm happy with it. The only thing I would like gripe about when it comes to loot is duplicates, but eventually you seem to get what you need, and with everything being static rolls, then it's annoying. I think every exotic engram that I've had is either decrypted into something that you've been given from the quest, or something that I already have had. Like the moment of Merciless, none of them. I'm not. Oh, this looks like the best fusion rifle in the entire world. I would like to try this. Didn't
bit.
drop at all. Pick up Merciless from Zer. Every engram is now Merciless. It's like every engram, and then maybe that'll be punctuated by the Warlock chest piece that I could have chosen at the beginning of the thing. But I guess that because loot is so fruitful and so easy to drop now, that it is a minor complaint, if anything. So. My lips are sealed further on the matter.
Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, of course, is because a lot of people have been complaining a bit about the rewards from the raid itself. And it certainly seems like that's not really a sentiment completely shared here, but certainly understood here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys run through the raid and not getting anything. And when I think back to the previous raid, when I think back to Wrath of the Machine, that was a very, very rewarding experience. Like every phase, that entire raid was just throwing stuff at you. And it's kind of weird that they would go from that, where it's like a raid with 7, 8, 9, 10 treasure chests plus double rewards from every single boss, to a raid where you really have a chance, kind of like being a World of Warcraft raid, where you can go through the entire thing and get jack.
Yeah.
It's
It's
weird.
just kind of odd to
Yeah.
me.
It's a
It's
very
like
stark
Vault of
change.
Glass, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it feels, I don't know. Sometimes there's a lot of little things like that in Destiny 2 that I'm like, well, why were they so different not that long ago with Age of Triumph with a lot of their
Yeah.
it's interesting to me. I don't know.
Did you get anything at all, Moon? Like, but did you get enough tokens for anything? Like a sniff of a present or anything?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I got the rocket launcher, and that's it.
Oh, come on. I
which
want
is
the
more,
rockets so
which is more
bad.
than I can say for like half my clan. One of my friends, Charles, he had never done a raid before. This is like his first Destiny experience, really.
Ooh.
I don't think he got anything
Oh.
the entire thing, so it was kind of sad. But
Several hours of work and then
yeah.
nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Wow. But that raid rocket launcher is supposed to be like a DPS king on the final boss, from what I've heard. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used like a normal rocket
hanging on
launcher
to
on
it.
him with Rally Barricade, and I was putting in tons of work. So
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of your drops. I want your drops.
I want your drops.
One other thing I want to say about the raid gear though is I was kind of surprised by a lack of raid synergy perks. I don't know, like every other raid gun in Destiny has always had something that makes the raid easier, like destroying
Yeah.
oracles faster, shoot through night walls,
Or
kill
Cocoon.
fallen damage. Yeah, or-
Yeah, Cocoon.
I forgot
There are no-
Kingsfall was a raid. Hold
Yeah,
on, my bad.
there are no intrinsic perks. I mean, I've managed to get. I went back into the maze, the labyrinth, if you will, on the Leviathan to like try and get some of the chests that I didn't manage to get. I needed help opening the doors with the code and everything and that kind of stuff. But then I was tootling around on my own. Managed to pick up a couple of tokens like on my own to go and get that one package. It was the last package, and boom, it turned into the auto rifle. And I thought, well, at least that's something. That's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's 2 helmets and an auto rifle, so that I don't feel completely stiffed. And that does have a really interesting set of perks on it, but I'm not sure if that's specific to the kinetic weapons or whether all weapons have something, because I've only seen that one gun, and it has this assassin's ambition or something. I don't know if that's like a special perk for raid kinetic weapons. It's if you repeatedly get kills. Like if you get a kill, it activates the perk, and then if each kill you get a bonus amount of ammo when you reload. So
Oh.
there's something like 49
interesting.
in the mag. So you can actually get it up to like 69, I think, or 66 bullets. I haven't been able to get any further than that because I had like 5 minutes to test it before I went on a couple of days break. And I thought, well, that as a perk is pretty damn interesting, because I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen that or heard of it on any other gun. So maybe there's possibly, if there's anyone in the chat that could confirm or deny the those perks there, but that made it pretty interesting, I guess.
Interesting.
But I don't have anything else. I don't have anything
I
else
was like,
for you.
I don't
other
really
than
have
that.
anything I can look at the perks on it either, really. To really
and
say.
Nobody got drops.
Nobody got nothing.
Oh, man.
The swords as well, because swords come in handy, especially for the dogs area. So the raid sword is actually that does seem very directed around that kind of encounter. So yeah, I think that at least there's something traditional to the raid weapons. You know, like there's something that will help you within the raid.
There we go.
But
What did
have a-
everybody think of the final boss?
I
Can
really,
I just say
really
I
enjoyed
love
them.
Callus. I
Yes.
refer to him as my Cabal Snorlax. That's what he is now.
As soon as
my
when I
lovely
first
Cabal
saw him,
Snorlax.
my first reaction when I saw him was like, "Is this a Spyro the Dragon boss?" Like he just looks
Yes.
so cartoony and goofy.
Yeah.
He's so silly looking. I love how dumb he is, and he just stands up there on his thing, just shooting his laser beams at us like he doesn't care.
His mind beam.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that
Which I love everything about that encounter. Like I said, I had to watch the raid, and when I think it was Goth who got there. Was it Goth or Slayer Rich who got there first? Whenever they got there, we were expecting this big kind of like Oryx moment where giant Oryx comes climbing up over the ship. And no, it's just Cabal Snorlax sitting there sipping wine. And the way you get his attention is by shooting the glass out of his hand. I thought that's just the most brilliant touch, because he just kind of goes, all right.
And can we
Yeah,
talk
we-
about the
encounter
sound
starts.
effect on that cup too is crispy. It's like a fight bell. It makes you feel
Yeah.
like I'm getting
Yeah.
ready for a boxing match. Just ding. Let's do it.
Yeah. You know, the first time that we got into that room, I stumbled on top of him, thinking that was what triggered it, and he just dropped the cup. I mean, it's the same thing. It goes ting as
Yeah.
well. If you run up there, so I was thinking, I got like really superstitious at one point and thought, what if he's angry if you're shooting his cup out the hand and he'd like spawn less ads or something if you just go and run up there and like greet him instead, you know? I
Raid
went off on a
secrets.
tangent because I was like,
Sweeten him up a little bit.
yeah, like maybe you shouldn't mess with his wine, you know?
He kind of seems like he just wants to chill. He's like, come on my ship, take a bath, hang out in my gardens. Like, let's have a drink. He just seems like a cool dude.
Seems like a
True.
homie.
Truth
You're
Dan has it
basically
down
just
in
there to
the,
entertain him.
yeah. Truth Dan has it in the chat. The best thing is it was a robot and not the real boss, and that is like the essence of Bungie right there for me. The storytelling, it's like the appearance is like, whoa, he's a bit cartoony, and then as you start damaging him, and he is like this pretty intimidating, quite haggard
when we
robot
actually got
underneath.
him to like the point where he turned into a robot, that was like a what the hell like
Yeah.
is going on? He was a Terminator the whole time, guys. Like, oh my gosh. I've never needed to know the lore behind something more than I need to understand what is happening in that raid.
Well,
Hit me up after the stream. I'll fill you in, buddy.
Good.
I got
Teach
you, man.
me. Teach me, TBL.
what, say it now. I'm dying to know. Is
know,
this
right?
something
Yeah.
that can be explained like without?
I'll try to
20
give you the
minutes.
Cliff's Notes version. Callus was the previous emperor of the Cabal. He was ousted from power by Gaul, who felt that his callous greed and gluttony was kind of leading the Cabal down the wrong path. And so he's kind of been out in space, just off in exile for a long, long time. And he ran into something, we'll say, out towards the edge of the universe. Something you may have seen if you watched the ending cutscene after beating the story. And that thing talked to him, did something to him, and sent him back to where you are in Earth to do something later.
Oh,
That's
Wow.
that's the Cliff Notes version.
interesting.
Because that after you defeat him and you drop down into this room, he has like a whole bunch of clone robots
Yeah.
just hanging there, and that was kind of spooky for me. I really like that, you know.
Which I like that too, because I always like that the raids have a built-in reason why it's replayable, like why the boss isn't dead, and there's our built-in reason for Callus right there. Just slap a new robot in every time we beat it, as far as I'm concerned.
Callus's Sky
So
Casino,
batteries-
come on back.
Man, this is like, I was just, because there's lore in the game now, I was reading the Trials of the Nine lore stuff, like on the gear, and it seems like maybe that is all related to that same crap out on the edge of the universe, some sort of, it's all coming together, man. It's all building towards something right now, and I gotta know what's going on in this game. They've got me. They hooked me, finally.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward
That's a
to
good
playing it
segue.
again.
Yeah, and then that's a good segue to Trials of the Nine. But before we get to that, overall thoughts. What do you guys think of the Leviathan raid? Good first step for Destiny 2? Moon?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing that we haven't mentioned is the appearance being of the very ivory / gold trimmings and everything. And if anyone's played Warframe, you would have instantly have recognized a homage and a tip of the hat to Warframe. And Bungie actually have a really large Warframe clan. So like this was it had that kind of, was it Orokin kind of feel to it? Orokin, yeah, like that I kind of like. Some people are like, this is ripped off of Warframe. I'm like, no, it's not. This is like a bit of a homage there. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. And knowing that Bungie had got a clan in Warframe as well, you know, that was kind of cool. But yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, man. The raid, I like different, bold movements, really bold movements, trying different things, covering new grounds, and pushing the limits of people, because even some of the most hardened PvE, you know, veterans were like, whew, that was tough, you know, that this is not an easy thing to do, but, you know, good. I like it. I like the challenge. How the hell is hard mode going to work?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even want to know
Can
what
I
the
ask a
challenges
question? Do we
Seriously, man.
have a hard mode, or do we only have prestige mode? Are those
Prestige is the
the
hard
new
mode.
hard
Yeah.
mode? Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious if Prestige was like next level. I wanted like
If you've
Here.
tried
Further beyond.
Prestige
Extreme
Nightfalls,
Yeah.
yeah, like it is extreme, right? And if you've tried
yeah.
any of the Prestige stuff, that's not easy stuff, and that is heavily team based.
yes,
You know, you can't.
the quest after the raid for the shotgun is the very first. The strike afterward is essentially last week's Prestige Nightfall, but with a different time adding bonus. And I finally beat that today after like 10 tries, going full 22 minutes every time. So I got a feeling that it's not going to be easy to do a Prestige raid at all. No. Oof. Oof. Oh, I had one last thing I want to say about the raid that I like for the normal mode raid. Revive tokens instead of like unlimited revives or just no revives at all is very interesting to me.
It's an interesting middle ground, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice.
I haven't heard a single positive comment towards that yet.
Really, I love
Yeah,
the revive
like-
tokens. I think it's smart.
Don't die is the name of the game for sure, but like yeah, there was many folks in the group saying, "Oh my god, this is really annoying. This is super
I think
annoying."
I think it's a great prep for what if Prestige is like hard mode where you can't like revive necessarily. I think it's a great prep to train people for Prestige mode. It's not like you have unlimited deaths like a normal raid. It's like, you know, you die, you are punished for it, so you start to think and prioritize not dying more, which is good training for what is to come, I would say.
Yeah. I personally don't really have a problem with it. I think they've addressed a lot of the issues from previous experiences with this new system. Like this is what I'm saying about the whole Bungie making these really bold movements to try and push things in new directions while still retaining the core identity of Destiny as a game. So yeah, like I like these little foibles and new characteristics that are popping up. How's it going to play in Prestige mode? That's another thing. Like, are you going to have no tokens whatsoever? Because permadeaths were another thing that kind of frustrated people. You know, when it's crucially related on timing. And I think a lot of this animosity from these kind of mechanics, I think all of them seem to have the root of the RNG mechanics causing the discontent. You know, like the fact that there's like a random mechanic that was. So, okay, wow, I got void walled straight away by that Scion that spawned, and now I'm up in the air.
I like the RNG mechanic of your party just dropping people out of the party the day it dropped. I don't know. That was happening like everybody I talked to. Yeah, you're just waiting for a call out, like, is someone going to say what the third thing is? Hello? And then you look, and they got booted. Yeah, okay, cool.
Was that on Xbox or PlayStation?
That was on Xbox. That it was happening to like everybody that I talked to. It was that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I'm on PlayStation, but I had that issue as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Crota all over again, guys. It's all glitches.
Ooh.
Pulling the Ethernet cable.
There it is.
We're still paying for that one.
Yeah. When are you running the raid, Link? Because I bet you're itching to get in.
I would love to get into it. I'm going to see if I can get some time to run it tomorrow before I go to work.
Okay.
And, yeah, right now. Let me just forego sleep and do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I want to see if I can get a chance to go through it tomorrow. That way I can at least have it completed on one character before reset comes around, and I can just
we'll have a chat afterwards because there is supposed to be. I was going to stream for PD. I don't know what the maintenance is going to do in the middle of that.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of us getting ready that have already done it. So if you wanted in on that, I could probably pull some strings, man.
I'm down. Right on.
Aye. Yes, Nem, thanks Nem, is posting the things in the chat about the maintenance and stuff, which is, there is a lot of maintenance going on, but I guess there's a lot of things to iron out because we've had a relatively smooth launch so far, really. There's been a few things that have caused some problems, and there's this new one of black screening. I don't know if you've had that. You just get random black screens. Yes. I had this in the middle of trials. Got back from holiday. First thing, assembled a team, bang. A friend got me in with Axarian and Benji and like ML.
I didn't even get to play with it. Yet.
No, yeah, like it was the fastest card I've ever done in my life. These guys were like, it was like they'd played the raid a million times over and they were just going to the points and just clearing everything. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, like it not a number of times during that trials card, just random black screen. So as much as I don't, I don't want to have to not be able to play later on today / tomorrow for you guys. I guess that's going to need a fix because that's pretty nasty.
Yes, it is. Speaking of Trials, who else got to play Trials, guys? Yeah, segues. Moonfall, did you get to play it all?
I didn't. I did not yet. But I hope I can next weekend because it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I actually watched Bones stream when he was doing Trials, and that was pretty fun. So yeah. No.
All right. It's
so different from
it's trippy.
Ewan's Trials.
It's some trippy
weird,
shit now.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Do you get to play much PvP, or do you focus particularly on any kind of type, or do you play like everything?
Right now I'm playing everything. In D1 I mostly did PvP, but I'm just kind of trying to absorb everything that I can, just since there's so much content now.
Yeah.
You know. And, yeah.
So
There's
much
a lot
content.
to do.
What a beautiful thing.
Yeah. No
And yet-
complaints
and yet
about lack of content this
I
time.
already have already seen people worried about lack of content, worried on the internet, people posting, I'm worried about, well, you've played 120 hours already in the 2 weeks it's been out, so maybe just take a chill pill, all right? Wait for the reset and do your activities and play a little
You've earned
PvP.
yourself hemorrhoids, for Christ's sake, in the space of less than a week and a bit, so there's
an emblem for that.
There's an exotic to take home right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there is one concern that I think is kind of justified, and that is, have they hit us with too much content too soon, and is that going to rapidly speed up a content drought before the DLC? I mean, of course, we don't know what's coming around the next corner. They're kind of pulling things out of the woodwork, quite quickly. So is there going to be some kind of event before then?
We know we have faction rallies next week, right?
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah.
And we have an Iron Banner coming before too long, right? They've said that. So
Next month, yes.
That's quite a bit, that's probably going to tide us over until the first DLC, which is rumored for December, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's going to be plenty of stuff to do within the game to kind of keep us going until we get our next big dump of content sometime in December. I mean, we've still got, all kinds of different Nightfalls to run. We've got the prestige mode of the raid to come out. We've got to deal with that. Guided Games, I think, is still inactive for raids, right?
Yes. Yeah, not active yet.
Back sometime, I guess, within the next couple of weeks, probably. Faction rallies, whatever that's going to be. Because we're not really too sure right now. Yeah, I think content-wise, Destiny's going to be fine for a while.
Yes.
I'm certainly finding stuff to do every day when I log on.
Yeah.
I know I am. And I mean, I still feel like there's still some things that they might drop in to surprise us. I still think it's weird that there's no exotic quest on IO. I still feel like there's something coming that they haven't done yet. Yeah.
That seems time gated, doesn't it? Because there is one. You've got that Dynasty quest, and it leads you to the Man of War. You get a Man of War from the NPC there, but then
every other planet is you get something, and then it takes you to the exotic quest after that. So I feel like there's something waiting. And then we do have really long post raid quests still. I got the shotgun, but there's still more to that quest.
Really?
Yeah, after you get the shotgun, you have to use it for a longer quest where you have to kill Cabals, multi-kills in a single shot, and just basically get a lot of kills up close and stuff. And then you have to collect tokens by beating the raid sections, which is currently bugged.
Really?
Actually, because you're supposed to get 13 in encounter, but it's only dropping 1 in encounter, so you'd have to beat the raid 14 times through in order to actually get the quest done, which is not the right amount, because it shows when you do it, I guess it shows 13 drop, but only 1 goes in your inventory, something like that. But yeah, there is some longer quest that is still out there to be finished on that end that I don't know even what that could be. So
I mean, I was hoping for that, because the quests for stuff, the exotic quests, are clearly some of the most addictive and sought after and exciting ones, so I like the fact that we've had a fair few, but I'm hoping there's more.
Yes, absolutely.
Give me more.
So,
Give me more.
So Moon, have you gone through most of the existing exotic quests? For Mida, Sturm, all those?
Yes, just the ones that happened pretty early. I still don't have the Rat King though.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's the rough one. Yeah.
Oh, I love the Rat King. Oh my
I'm kind of putting that off, even though I really
No, this is your week to do it, Moon. If you get time,
it is.
this Nightfall is. So, I mean, I've done a guided games where I got someone through it and I suck. So I'm positive you can do it. Like,
Okay.
believe in you.
So
I'll give it a shot.
that leads me to the question, how do you guys feel, and I guess we can get answers from everybody here, how do you guys feel about some of the world and exotic quests that we've got in Destiny 2? Because it's certainly kind of a throwback to Destiny 1, at least year 1 in Destiny 1, where, you complete the story, suddenly these Vanguard mentor missives are dropping from the bounty bot, and they're taking you on these super long, sometimes really hard quests to get an exotic. I think I've gotten pretty much all of them on at least all of my characters, and I gotta say, I kind of prefer doing quests for exotics rather than just doing a kind of a luck of the draw with an exotic engram. What do you guys think? Let's start with Moon.
Like, what do I feel like? Is it like year one or?
Do you like them? Do you dislike them?
Do I like it? I like it. I like it because it feels a lot more rewarding than just like popping you through coins and then
Yeah.
Oh, there's my Zenity or whatever that I didn't
Earn
have
that.
before. Mm-hmm. But it just feels a lot more earned, and I really like that a lot. I like working for my loot, so
I'm a fan.
I like it.
I like it. I'm a fan of random drops too, but I really enjoy exotic quests because I feel like they help give the gun more personality and meaning in the world.
Yeah.
Like when something's an exotic and I just like found it on the ground after like killing some dude, it's like, what is exotic about this? Like, this ancient weapon has been lying next to this drag? Like, what the hell? What? Why is it
found
his
it in the
pocket.
dirt
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I like it better when I know that like
Yeah.
I'm harnessing the components, I'm reforging it, things like that get me more interested in the gun as a whole. But I think I like a good balance of both. Definitely don't like just 3 of Coin World where you just keep
Yeah.
grinding and increasing your chances.
That's really,
Yeah.
at least for me, that's kind of what D1 became after a while when it was just trying to fill in the gaps
definitely.
with your exotics, and it was just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, 3 of Coins, they really helped somebody like my dad for trying to acquire exotics, but it wasn't the most interesting and rewarding ways to get them. But I like what they've done to counter that. They've got rid of it, but now you can get exotics from multiple different activities, and they're not as rare as they were in, say, year 1. Like exotics dropped in the Crucible in year 1. Can you believe that? But it was like a 1 in a million chance. That I mean, in all my time through in 2014 when Destiny was released, I saw 1 exotic drop in Crucible, like for anyone, and that was actually me. It was on Xbox. I was sucking really hard, and it was a G-Horn. I had like a 0.3 KD, and a G-Horn dropped.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the only one that I saw for months and months and months. It was like I didn't even see one drop for anybody else in the rewards table. So, it's like, how rare is that? But now you see it all the time, or at least frequently enough. So, yeah, it's just going to decrypt into something you already have.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I suppose it's good to have a nice mix of the two, engaging quests for exotics with lore behind it. Like, I love the fact that Mida Multitool has a submachine gun that goes with it. Yeah. I just think that's the greatest thing in the world. And, I think they've got an overall pretty good system, and I'd like to see it continue.
I really like,
Good
speaking
stuff.
of just the mini tool in general, I really like that some of the exotics have synergies with other guns now.
Yeah.
Like the Drang and the Sturm are such a cool combo, and like the Midas going together. And also, Fallout suggested to me that when I know the gender of my baby, I should tweet out a picture of 2 Mida multi-tools and then either a pink or a blue Mida mini tool next to it. I just want to throw that out there.
Boy.
That's the type of stuff Fallout randomly messages me about throughout the day.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, what else? We didn't really... I didn't get to talk about Trials, or we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about
Trials
Trials.
is fun.
In
It's
detail
fun.
real quickly. Yeah, I did one flawless card, the easiest flawless card of all time, because I was with the Fun Police Fallout and Cammy.
Yeah.
Is literally just what do I even have to do right now? Cammy is running around with this
So damn
fighting
look pretty.
lion, like just
I
shooting.
can't believe he's using that and winning.
Yeah.
He's Cammy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing it either. He almost makes me want to use it. Like he is a perfect old timey salesman going door to door, like tricking me into thinking the Fighting Lion will actually be useful for me. He's like, it's a perfect counter to all the people who group up together. I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. You know, it does. It explodes. But
Yeah, you're talking some sense.
then
there.
I remember that it does like 10 damage when it explodes next to them. But he's just, if you ever get a chance to play with him, it'll literally just be him on the other side of the map calling out damage numbers from the Fighting Lion, and everybody's like, nobody cares, Cammy. Nobody is listening to you right now. But God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah. These new changes to Trials, just the overall aesthetic, you know, like the emissaries, the spire, just the colors, the new symbols, they've really like built upon the mystery and interest and like engagement with Trials here. Like when I saw there's emissaries for the first time, I thought, whoa, this is so much better than a guy in a yellow cloak standing at the reef with his tokens and things like that, you know.
Going to the Spire for the first time. First off, I think it's great that it opens up to you after one win, because it just allows so many more people to go into that social space. There's so many people who never got a chance to go to the Lighthouse throughout the entire history of Destiny 1. And it's great that, you know, all you need is one win to go to this new social space. And yeah, you get your rewards at 3 wins, 5 wins, and 7 wins. And it's such a weird, interesting area. And the vendor, the emissary, is super spooky but super cool. Like I spent hours just sitting in there recording, just listening to the audio lines that she puts out, and it's like making the lore part of my brain go nuts with who this is and what it could possibly mean for the story. The numbers, Mason, they match up. And it's a really, really cool experience. I got to play through a card. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. Got a couple of decent rewards like the hand cannon and whatnot. And I think Trials is looking pretty good. Not yet. Not yet. I was taking a friend through, and we couldn't pull him through it.
Because Fallout specifically texted me, like, as soon as it dropped, he's like, we're not letting Link go all the way through D2 without going flawless. All right? So you're not getting out of it this time. You're not getting out of it this time.
Well, with the way things are going, it looks like I might not need the help with it, but I'm going to be pushing through another card tomorrow and seeing if I can get my buddy flawless. I told him I wanted to get him through it. But yeah, I think Trials is really fun. I really enjoy Countdown. I thought the map is really cool. I cannot wait till next week when it's survival, because I'm really enjoying the survival game mode.
Yes. Yeah. Are all the maps going to be Trials exclusive maps? Because that was like a brand new map. Are they all like things that only exist for Trials?
I think it was, I've watched some Real Crafty and Wish You Luck very, very briefly last night. And they were speculating that there are specific Trials maps that will rotate each weekend.
That's really cool.
Okay. If that's the case, then I think that would, even though that may get a little stale after a while, if there's not that many of them, I think Trials specific maps for these game modes is probably going to be the most sensible way to deal with it, because let's face it, so the layouts of maps in the past have not suited a lot of the game modes, and these maps are big in comparison to D1. This is why Scouts are so prevalent at the moment, is because there are a lot of lanes, there are a lot of open spaces. I think they've really worked on the feedback that Destiny maps are small, they're all CQC. And, you know, now it's like, no, they're really not. So if they are specific ones, I think I'd get a thumbs up for that personally, but I wouldn't like to say that it's 100% confirmed.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it being stale, but I think something that would help it not be stale is that, like, Trials in Destiny 1, it's like, oh, it's Last Exit, but I played Last Exit 10,000 times this week, like on this other, just playing normal Crucible. So
they're separate.
It'll be like, oh, it's this map. I only get to play this like once a month.
Once a weekend.
I'm excited to get to play this map right here.
Yeah. That would be good, that because a new map that you haven't played, that was the first thing that I paid attention to Twitter a little bit while I was away on holiday, and that it's a new map, brand new map, everything's blue, it fits in with the whole new Trials theme, and it's really big and specific to Trials. It's like, okay, nice, I like it.
Yeah.
So, Trials, fun.
Yes.
Enjoying it.
When are you going to get the chance to play, Moon? Have you scheduled some time in for Trials?
Again, probably next weekend.
Okay.
I might try to sneak in a little bit tonight if anybody's around, but I don't think anybody I normally play with is.
Right.
But yeah, I
Fair,
really
fair.
do want to try.
Yeah.
I am really big into the new aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so I like how much it contrasts just the universe in general, and it feels really different and special, which is really nice for.
It really does a good job of making the 9 feel like this special thing, because we've just heard their name for forever, and now we see they truly are some sort of different entity going on. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure, man. Yeah, for sure. And the loot as well. Like, I think this is really going to attract a lot of players that don't usually play something like Trials. Of course, until the loot is acquired and there is no more, then of course things will change. But like, it brings a lot of, less familiar players to things like Trials, and it's not so intent on being the PvP elite are the chances they get to compete. Like, of course, Flawless Victories and the top of the spiral is going to be, still kind of directed towards the more skilled of the PvP players, but everyone can play, everyone can earn engrams, you can get the clan rewards, there's some really cool looking weapons that you can get from there as well. There was something else that I wanted to say about the loot system, but I've forgotten because I'm an old man.
I've got a thing. I think it's smart that you can still get loot if you are losing. You can still get coins and stuff, but you'll basically only level yourself up with like wins. So there's still incentive to play to win. You'll get higher drops that way, but you can just play for the tokens if you're not someone who's going to get a ton of wins, and you can still get guns and gear and get to play with them. They just won't level your power level up, which is smart thinking. And I like the perks on the guns too. They all have that slide reload thing, which is cool.
For sure, man. It's just the whole design. Everything's like I got the sniper rifle. I was like, whoa, okay, this looks amazing. It sounds amazing. Whoa. I was rooting for that hand cannon. So you have to tell me what that's all about, Link, man. I'll look forward to maybe a video on that. Yeah. Oh, matchmaking. That was it. It looks like the matchmaking is not win-on-win based this time around. I'm not sure about that, though. That's something that I wanted to ask. Like, does anyone know for sure how the matchmaking is working? Because it appeared to be completely random, like it did in House of Wolves trials.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure at all.
I've seen a lot of speculation, but I haven't seen anything solid on it. Yeah. People think it's mostly connection based because it does seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, like I can confirm it's not connection based for sure, because we were playing a lot of US teams and we were all in the EU, so there was connection based, unless it wasn't the case. So
our games were all over the place, and I know that like 2 of the people on my team at least already had flawless tickets on them, because you can't dismantle a flawless card now. You just have that flawless card.
Gotta clear it out.
You can you can restart the activity.
You can't restart a flawless one.
A flawless one. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. It just forces you, like, it keeps you on that card. So I don't think it was matching based on wins though, because we had some teams that were like the easiest, just stomps of ever.
See but that for me, like when Trials first released, it was spontaneous. I think this is something that a lot of developers are kind of straying away from, the spontaneity, and particularly Bungie, that have a very strict policy on skill-based matchmaking and matching people with, to try and get things as close as possible all the time without any kind of room for ruffle stompings and all that kind of business. But like the spontaneity, I think, is really important to attract players of all different skill sets, is the fact that, oh my God, we have a chance at getting a real easy card. We're going to keep on playing. Instead of on the 4th win, we're going to get sweats. Yeah. Like, it gives people a massive incentive. And like, I know some people that want more of a challenge are definitely going to have an issue with that. But I think really it's a very healthy move for the population itself, if that's the case, because people will have that in the back of their minds, or in the forefront of their minds, that holy cow, I can do this. We can do this because we may have a chance in at like people that are either lesser skilled than us. Sounds kind of bad, but like because it's spontaneous, it's not set in stone that, oh man, we're on the 4th or 5th win, we're gonna come up against people that are literally unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That was a
literally
bit of a
always
problem.
been my entire plan to get flawless in Destiny. Has always been, all right, maybe I'm gonna just come across every team that accidentally matched a really terrible team the round before, and just has been making their way up the ranks slowly that way. I'm gonna get that 8-8 match against just complete potatoes. Like,
Yeah.
potato off. Let's do this.
Spontaneous is good, man. I think
It
you don't know
is.
what you're going to get. You know, it's the Forrest Gump.
I love it. I
Philosophy.
mean, I hate getting absolutely dominated, but I love the chance to absolutely dominate people. So I'll take it. I'll take one or
Funny
the
how
other if
that
I have
works.
to. That's how it is. Yeah.
I'll take it. Okay, then. I think we're ready for opening up for questions. If there aren't any objections, should we open up for
As
some
a matter
questions?
of fact, I think that's a good idea. But rather than just opening it up for questions from the viewers, I think we should pose some questions to our guest.
Yes.
Because usually for these guest things, we like to do a little bit of an interview with them at the beginning of the show. We figured we'd do this later because, of course, the raid is such a big bit of news. We wanted to get that section out of the way. So now we're going to turn things over, shine that spotlight on Miss Moon, and ask you a couple of friendly video gaming questions. Like, how
Sure.
did you get started in video games? What's your history with them?
Actually, before Destiny, I don't have a really extensive history with gaming. Like being a kid, I played Pokemon and sort of that bag of things that normal kids do. But back in 2015, I saw my friend playing Destiny, and I was like, "Wow, that looks really cool. How do I do that?" And then here I am. So, yeah. Yep.
So
it's
back
my
in-
first FPS and everything.
So back in 2015, Destiny was your first kind of big modern gaming experience.
Yes, my first console game too, actually. Yeah.
Okay, most
So did
important
you-
question now. What character
Oh
would
no!
What class?
Oh no! I'm a warlock main.
See, I knew it. Is the correct answer. There we go.
She's got class,
there you
ladies and
go.
gentlemen.
Scott style, she knows
She's
it.
got class.
Yeah, there we go. See,
You
Maggie,
picked
you
the
can
best
stay in the
class.
back.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm always like really tentative about admitting that, but thank you.
Don't be. Warlock's the best.
Yeah, that's right.
As Bone says, use whatever, don't apologize.
Yep.
You play exactly what you want. So you came in 2015. Did you come in the Taken King, Dark Below, House of Wolves?
I came in right before the Taken King in July.
You came in at the best point for PvP.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I was actually really scared of PvP for about a year. Because obviously, again, I've never done anything that competitive or that
Yeah.
fast paced. So, my friend who introduced me to the game was just like, "You just got to do it. You just got to do it." And I was like, I can't. And then I just, ballsed up one night and played Crucible, and it was awesome. And I love it so much. Yeah.
And she's been bagging kids ever since.
Yes. No. I try not
Respect
to.
kneeling.
Respect Niels.
Respect kneeling. Mhm.
Why is everyone a warlock who's ever plays this
Because
game with me?
warlocks are
I'm
the best.
sorry, man.
Ugh.
If it
Warlocks
makes you
are
feel
the
better,
best.
I also really love Gunslinger. And
All right,
I
that's
wanna
good.
put a
Then
lot
I'll
more
take
time
that.
into that. So.
I'll accept
Have you
it
played
then.
Gunslinger in D2?
Yes, I have. I like the changes that they've made
Yeah.
in the beta, and I like, the other option that we have now, the other path. So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm really
Other
excited to
path,
kinda dive
definitely
into
the
that.
choice. I don't think I'm ever gonna put on the 6-shot path if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, it just seems.
Are we allowed to say that? Destiny 2's been out for a couple of weeks. Who uses the 6-shot?
Never.
Yeah.
Since I unlocked it, I haven't put it on one time.
Yeah.
I honestly, I tried to unlock the tree and just not unlock the 6-shot perk of that tree. I thought about just leaving it
Just
unchecked
sitting
so
there,
I could
like,
get the
yeah.
exploding throwing knife, but have a normal golden gun.
Yeah. Is there anything in that achievement pile of stuff that is actually worth it, or is it all on the bottom tree?
Bottom tree's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I all I can even remember is the throwing knife. Honestly, you get the
Yeah.
exploding throwing knife and you get the 6-shot, but I throwing knife. I rarely am. If I'm relying on throwing knife to get my kills in PvP, I'm pretty fucked anyway. So I'm not gonna go to that as my reason to choose the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I saw one here. What's favorite guns? Have you got any favorite tools, armor, guns
yeah.
of Destiny 2, Moon?
I really like Merciless, but I think everybody does. So it's kind of a cop out answer. But God, I don't know. Better Devils is really fun. I'm really liking hand cannons a lot this time around, which I wasn't so fond of them in D1, but
that is a hot opposite opinion. I feel like of most people.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was really big on scouts and pulse rifles in D1, but now I've just gotten some cool hand cannons and I'm one of them.
All right.
Better Devils is one of the best ones.
I mean, I like
It's
hand
a
cannons.
pretty
I like hand
Yeah.
cannons too. I'm down.
Yeah. Having some like nostalgia. Well, I guess I'm just kind of missing a lot of my stuff from D1, though. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that, but I'm like I'll go to like a quick No Land or something, and I'll just
I'm not crying. You're crying.
right? Yeah. Rip.
Yeah, absolutely. Merciless is it's a perfectly viable option because that fusion rifle is amazing, and it's like the Pocket Infinity and Yaller Horn of D2 right now. It is a fantastic boss burning weapon, like just among the best out there. So yeah, I think Merciless is a great choice. Lot
it looks
of might of
fire.
multi-tool.
It looks
does look
fire.
fire.
Like, it
Merciless
looks
looks
so
fire, baby.
good. It's like, how
Yeah.
do they make something turquoise look so wantable? You know, like it's like
It would
and
match
with
my
all the
KitchenAid
flames.
mixer so perfectly. I feel like that's why I like it. Just it would
Are you
match
a baker,
it
man?
right in
No.
there. I wish. No. It's for the wife. Clearly, I don't think I'm allowed to touch it. I'll break it. Honestly.
Yeah, those things are expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we just pretend that TV didn't mention the Mida in any way, shape, or
Never
form?
happened. It never happened.
Might have what?
What?
Just coughing a little bit. I said Mida Mini Tool.
Yeah, the
What's
Mida Mini
multi-tool?
tool is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good submachine gun.
The multi-tool is out. People are not they're not fans of the multi-tool right now. I don't. It's a good gun and it's easy to get. I think that's why everyone's using it. Like it's just like you're guaranteed to have it. You know how to get it. And there's no grind for it. But people will. There's other good guns out there. All right. I still will tout the Uriel's Gift as my favorite gun. So, like till the
I've
end
been
of the
seeing
year.
a lot
Yeah,
of
in
that.
PvP, that is my go-to for sure.
It's so
Yeah.
I
You
love
know-
the range on it too. It's amazing.
The Uriel's Gift seems to be just like this super duper reliable auto rifle. I got one and I infused it into another auto rifle, so I never really took a chance to use it. And like literally every single match of trials I've gone into has been Mida Multi-Tool, Uriel's Gift. And I guess the
Yeah.
double high caliber rounds
High
combo is
cal.
just too good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think High Cal was a big mistake on anything. I thought they'd have learned something from D1 that High Cal is in the principle of causing flinch and randomization of projectiles whilst being shot at. So you can lose a gunfight due to the RNG nature of High Cal rounds being sprayed upon you. That I don't think is a very good mechanic to have in a peer-to-peer network system because this, I think personally, everyone I've seen complaining about Mida, and when I watch them playing, it's all seems to be based on the same thing, that they're not just peeking lanes, which is what the auto response is. It's like, well, don't peek a lane, don't be out in the open, and it's like, well, I don't think that's why people are annoyed with Mida. It's like the guy that wasn't looking at me has just turned on me and I automatically seem to be too tapped by it. And it's like, it's not, you're not being too tapped by it. They're getting like, they're landing all of their shots. It's just that you're not seeing them.
throwing
There's
you
like
off.
I think the high cal rounds are a valid concern to lower that for sure, because the gun
I
already
just
has
think-
so much going for it anyway.
Yeah.
Like
just take high cal off everything. Don't have high cal. Like don't have a mechanic that basically stops people being able to shoot back, because it seems to be not based on the skill of the player, but like more the stability of the lobby that you're in that kind of dictates who's going to win the gunfight. And like in a peer-to-peer system, it just doesn't really seem to make any kind of logical sense. We're going to see, you know, maybe a different kind of story for PC, and that's probably going to shine the light on the situation just a little bit better because of how much more responsive it's going to be. But yes, like I think that's the major complaint really when it comes to Mida, because on its own, on paper, and like its damage, it's even the aim assist, like you're in the toilet after playing a game and you've still got Mida bullets hitting you in the ass. You know, following you around all the corners and stuff. It's got some pretty heavy magnetism, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough one. Great April says abolish high cal. Yes, yeah.
although I will. But I like my high cal when I'm shooting Cabal and they don't shoot me back story. I like it when I stun them in the face. On
Just
my
DDoS them, mate. You're doing it
good
wrong.
idea. Yeah,
You're doing it wrong.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Okay. Have we got any more of those cues? Those sweet QQs.
More of the Qs. I had one and I lost it, so I'm just gonna mention other guns that I
Fashion.
like until we get there. I
Do it.
really, speaking of hand cannons, I like the old fashioned a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
It just looks
I
cool.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like. That's another reason I like No Land Beyond so much is because of how like
Yes.
rustic
Yes.
it looks, and that is like an aesthetic I'm really into. So I was really excited.
There's something about being a space
fashioned.
magic person with like an old
Mhm.
style rustic gun that just makes it that much cooler. Yes.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
I'm
I
all
love it
about that.
so
Yes.
much.
I love the
I've been
fact that
having-
it doesn't take a shader that well. Like, you can't try and not make it look old fashioned.
Yeah.
It's like,
Leave it
no,
alone.
I'm
Yep.
going to be
Yeah.
old fashioned if it kills me. Thank you very much. Take your pink shader and stuff it.
Yeah, basically, just like a grumpy old man. trying to hide the gun.
Here's a good one for our guest: is opinions on the story. How did you enjoy the story when you played?
I was
through it
gonna
compared
ask
to
you
season one?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
I loved it. I love the plethora of cutscenes. I love just the extensiveness of like how much we get to explore as we're leveling up after, at the end game stuff as well. But I love it. I love that how much they've improved in their world building and storytelling. It's everything I ever wanted. Like that's
Yeah.
basically all I have to say about it.
Nice.
We like Destiny too. We like it.
We do.
It's hands
a good
down the
game.
best game I've ever played, and I'm not trying to be like a pro
Ooh, that's
Bungie thing.
Pro
It
shill.
is.
Pro Bungie shill.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll give them as much friction as I give them praise, and there are still many things about Destiny 2 that I don't agree with. Networking, for one, in PvP, I'm not having a good time. I think it's worse than D1. There's some really freaky stuff going on that is like it makes gunfights really inconsistent. However, the core of the game, aside from that technical side of it, is brilliant. The PvE, the PvP, the guns, the stuff that we have to do, the story's better. Everything is a better version of the original game. So, like, it is like everything that I could have wished for, and I'm really impressed and astounded and like very like happy with the whole thing, So, and especially we've got PC coming out as well, so things are only going to get better.
Would you say it's at least half as good? Would you say this is a Destiny 1.5? Is that what you're saying right now? Huh?
I think it's a
Those
10 point.
reused assets.
Angry Joe, I've seen this. Angry Joe is like, no disrespect to that guy or anything, but like I think he has to
disrespect
give
him.
things like a really negative review because that's his thing. Like he complains about stuff and it's like, well, if he gives something a positive review, is he staying true to his character? And that's what a lot of people have got to remember with Angry Joe is that he's
Yeah.
a very stylized
character.
caricature. It's like Dr. Disrespect, but worse.
Oh my! I love that guy.
Dr. Disrespect is good. Angry Joe
He's
seems to
great.
be having some troubles right now,
Okay,
But,
here's one for Moon that has been asked though specifically, which is who's your favorite character in D2? I'm assuming NPC. No,
I was assuming me.
that's a
yeah,
big question.
it is.
I really like Zavala. I really like what they did with him. And I know everybody likes Cade, but I don't know, Zavala I think is probably my favorite. Yeah.
I can see that. You get to see a little bit of Zavala's emotional raw side when he's separated from his
Yeah.
fire team. See him in a state where he's lost a little bit of faith, but he's still stalwart and strong, and he pulls it back. I can see it. I was just
Yeah,
playing the Titan missions again today, so that's fresh on my mind.
Yeah, Zavala's always been kind of the big stoic member of the Vanguard. Just kind of the wall there, giving you your orders. You know what to do, Guardian. We've stepped into a war with the Cabal, so it's time we started taking out their command. I remembered that entire speech because I ran that stinking strike so many times. And in
You
this,
don't just back out when you hear that.
no, I want to give hands to Valis every single time I see him, to Valisari. But this story overall did a fantastic job, especially with the main three Vanguard, of kind of expanding upon them. There's a couple of really great moments throughout the story, like with Zavala, where in particular he does something that's completely foreign to you. He loses he kind of loses that stoicness for a second and says he has no idea what to do going forward. And it's a really great, really telling narrative moment where you kind of come back to him and let him know, no, we can fight. We've gotten our light back. And you see him peek up and kind of realize that he doesn't have to do everything. He can rely on you. And if you continue to fight, you can win. And there's just so many great moments like that between Cayde and Zavala and Ikora. Those cutscenes with Ikora on Io are fantastic, where she's just kind of talking about her history and her reliance upon her power over the past several centuries, and this being the first time she's ever felt powerless. It's just great job, Bungie. You did a great job with the character development in D2.
They did.
It's good stuff.
You really get a sense.
Yeah, you really
for
get
how,
that.
You go on.
Sorry, you really get that like emotional connection with the characters that you didn't really get in D1. I feel like as much, anyway. And that's definitely something that I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was going to say that you really get a sense for how these characters have been alive for like centuries, and like you really want to know more about their histories, like in this game. Like I want to know what Ikora, Cayde, and Zavala were like as a fire team when he's like, I need my fire team. Like I want to see them playing through a raid somehow together. I want my 80s cartoon done up of Destiny, all right? And it's the Vanguard. I want to watch that cartoon. Make it happen.
I would watch it.
it.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement because in they're actual characters in this game. In Destiny 1, they were really, at least until the Taken King, when Cayde got to step into the spotlight with that story, they're just, just kind of glorified NPCs who you go to turn in quests with. That's all they were in Destiny 1. And in this, they actually feel like living, breathing characters who have a history. I mean, you learn about these characters in this. I don't know if you guys have gone through all of like Cayde's stash quests for his chest around the world. Some of the items you pick up
smut romance book.
His smut romance book. It's great. It's great.
I was thinking of his sadder aspect. We can talk some.
His family. You actually learn about Cayde's family hundreds of years ago, and you get a little bit of an insight as to why he became an EXO in the first place. Like, this game, it does a fantastic job of building on these characters that we've known for years and actually giving us something to attach to. And I really think Bungie deserves a bit of a round of applause for that. It's just good game. Destiny 2 is a good game.
Good game.
GG's.
Right then.
I would really like to know who the characters are in like the subclass quests, though.
Oh, man.
That they have narrated, because there's some characters I'm just like, could that be Wei Ning? Could that be, like, who could that be when they're talking? And I really want to know. That's one of the things that's been bothering me.
There's a lot of questions from those quests that I want answers to. Yeah.
Yes.
Are we ever going to find out? Is there any kind of real serious inkling that we are going to find that out? Or is it just a cliffhanger?
I don't know.
I want to imagine if they went through the trouble of putting those lore bits in there for the subclass quests, because that's stuff that's pulled straight from the Grimoire. I really want to tell myself that if they were willing to do that, to voice those lines, to give us a peek at some of the lore behind our characters, that they have to tie into that somewhere else later down the road. I just really want to believe that they're not going to leave us hanging there. Tell us who some of those comms were from, because it was so engaging. Super cool. I want to see some of that stuff for like for other Lost Guardians, like oh man, I just lost his name. Thorn guy.
Dredgen
Yor. Yeah, there we go. And I want to hear more about that stuff. There's tons of lore in this game that moved on from Destiny 1 that we never really kind of got any sort of deeper look into. And I think Destiny 2 is a really great opportunity for them to dive into some of that. I want it. I want it.
Me too.
Yes.
Well, I think, Link, you can take the ship out from the shore.
Think we're done for now? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Planet Destiny Podcast, episode 135. I'll see if I can do this almost as good as Fallout does every single week. First things first, we want to give we want to extend very special thanks to our guest, Ms. Moonvald. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, man. Welcome back anytime.
Awesome.
But for before we get on out of here, we do like to let you guys know where you can find all of us across the internet. If you are here live, make sure you're staying tuned. Start putting down suggestions for who we should raid on Twitch once we go offline. We will be jumping over there. But before we close this out, we're going to go through and talk a bit about where you can find us, what we've got coming up, starting off with our guest. Ms. Moonvald, where can they find you across the internet?
Once again, you can find me at twitch.tv/Moonvald and twitter.com/Moonvald.
Big streams.
That's
Go
about
check
it
her
right
out.
now. I'm
There's going to be some
busy,
links
so.
to that in the chat.
Go.
We've also got the Husky Raid man himself, Mr. Mega Magwitch on Twitch, and Husky Raid on YouTube, of course. Got anything big coming this week?
Hopefully Destiny Cops episode 5 really soon.
Oh my gosh.
So hopefully that.
Is that the one with me in it?
No, it's not the one with you in it.
You!
The one with you in it's
asked
right
my
after
audio,
those.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Is it the one with me? Oh, I mean, there is no one with me.
No, there is clearly not. There's definitely not a Choose Your Own Adventure episode that has TVL.
It didn't
and
happen.
story in it. Definitely not.
No, I don't know why you would think that.
No.
We've, of course, got Mr. Story Maforsheen, spelled Story Machine with a 4 for the A. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did I get it right? I got it right. I did it. Yep. Yeah, check him out on YouTube and Twitch and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I am the Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at the Black Link. And of course, on the Planet Destiny Twitter page and whatnot, and Twitch page and all that kind of stuff. We'll be keeping up with there. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into episode 135 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We'll catch you all next week.
Bye.